Keith Morrison, by the way, is maybe my spirit animal. Like I will constantly say, in situations in my life, I feel like I'm in the first block of a Keith Morrison segment, and I'm just waiting for the VO of like, but John didn't come home. He never arrived for that meeting. And now we have six chickens.
You have six chickens?
Yeah,
Mazel tov.
thank you.
That really helps with the
Um,
with the egg crisis facing our nation.
It's a whole thing. But yeah, they just started laying. I'm new to all of this, but they just started laying eggs. They have to be like 5 or 6 months old before they start laying eggs. And one of our chickens is what they call an Easter egger. So
That
her
comes out colored.
eggs can be different colors. Like they might be pale blue, or they might be like an olive green. They might be, it's nuts.
Is she arrogant
Um,
about it?
was such a diva about it.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, she shits out
exactly.
Easter eggs. It's remarkable.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not taking requests today. Um, but yeah, no, it's really it's I'm very very happy here.
Did the chickens come with the property?
No, they were aftermarket. No, uh, we kind of just want to. It's a very so like in LA, houses, as you know from your time here, are not set back terribly far from the street,
Right.
and
Yeah.
this place is probably set back twice as far as a normal home, and it's densely there's dense foliage around the fencing, so you can't really see into the property. We put in a little driveway gate, so it's like your own little world. And there's a backyard with a tree house and a corkscrew slide, and there were
Is
room
that for you?
for
You like the corkscrew slide?
yeah, I had it installed. It's in my
Excellent. To your
rider.
specifications. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's like this really cool, it's all sort of architectural, like it's got this big pitched roof, and there's a detached structure in back, like a big pitched roof. It's like a garage, but it's not a garage. It's kind of open workspace, and we're finishing that off into little like guest house and kitchen. I'm with my um, I don't know how to say this. I always struggle with this. I'm a grown ass man, so
You
I
are.
can't say girlfriend because we're not going to prom.
Right. You're not
We are
pinned?
not. We're not married, but we're married. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like she's my wife.
How long have you been not married to this person to whom you're married?
For a few years, and so it's like we live together, and she grew up on a farm, and she is a brilliant, world-renowned, two-time Michelin award-winning pastry chef.
Well,
So
you
which
should put a ring on that.
and by the way, and chocolatier. So
Stop it. Come on.
basically I'm married to like a smoking hot Willy Wonka.
God, that is the
And
best. That's the best.
I gotta tell you, like 5 stars, strongly recommend. It's a
Yeah.
quality of life thing. So
How did you meet this unicorn?
at work, I work for Food Network, and
Yes.
she and I work together, and
Wait, are you dating the talent pool? Did that happen? Did you
I
reach into
don't
the
think
talent pool and take a swim?
so. I mean, because we don't do the same thing. I would say, is it closer to saying fishing off the company pier? I don't know we met in the workplace. Um, but we only work together like 2.5 weeks a year, so it's not like we go to work together every day. But yeah, like if I have the ability, I will send you photographs of her work
I would like to see it.
because It's the fucking dark arts. Like,
Yeah.
there is no way that you create this kind of shit without throwing, chicken bones in a bucket of blood and summoning something that you can't quite control.
Listen, I don't want to rain on this parade, but you don't know that she's not taking those Easter egg chickens, taking those bones while you're asleep, throwing the blood in, and out comes a fondant cake.
The best part is, like, I would be totally okay with
You'd be
that.
fine with
Like,
it. Yeah, you don't care.
it's 100% worth it.
And she's hot.
No, like,
She's hot.
she's so crazy hot. Like, like I'm playing so far above the rim for me. This is the honest to God, this is a true story. When my brother met her, because she's also like insanely smart and like funny as a professional comedian. And when he met her afterwards, he said to me, and this is like, he wasn't being funny. He goes, um, first of all, as a backstory, for more than 40 years, my brother and I have called each other Harold. It doesn't matter why,
Okay.
but it's part of the
I mean,
story. He
I'd like
goes,
to know, but okay.
Harold, don't take this the wrong way, but like, what is she seeing you? Like, swear to
And
God,
you
that was
understood the
what.
question.
And I know, like, my response was like, shh, don't say anything. She might hear you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
So I don't want to
it's,
be a dick, but like, what do you think it is?
um, latchkey kid that watched Talk Soup, as an adolescent. I don't know. Like, I would, I don't know. I honestly, like, I think we just had a thing. We had a thing where, we at one point she said to me, like, how are we the same person? So, there was just a very different chemistry between her and I than anyone I've ever met before, and it was very much a thing. It took a while, like, because we worked together, and it wasn't an immediate thing because there was the professional relationship, but 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 yeah,
But here you are.
it's
I can understand because my husband just this week said to me, "How are we the same person?" And
really.
yeah, yeah, I've been married, gosh, 22 or 3 years. The heck did I get married? 03 or 05, so 22 years. Yeah, it's amazing, right? When you meet that person and you click into that groove, and you just can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I never thought I'd get married. So to be married and all this time, and he still likes me, is
And what does he do?
beyond me. He is a 60 Minutes producer.
Oh,
Right. So, okay. So you want to talk about like, why would they like you? So my husband looks like
yeah.
Tom Cruise. I'm not kidding. He looks like Tom Cruise. He is a producer at 60 Minutes. He is
That
kind.
alone, like, if you guys weren't married, I'd take a swing at him just for the inside scoop on, like, just kind of
All of
like,
it.
seriously though, who is abusing the elderly
Yeah.
in a rest home scandal? Like, who are we getting this week?
Right.
I just
Yes.
watched the documentary on who's the woman, the it was an Australian 60 Minutes woman who
No.
decimated
The
that
cancer
woman.
scammer. Cancer scammer.
Yes. Oh my
Oh my
God. Oh my
god. Oh
God.
my god.
Literally just like a bowl of ice cream, just like, oh my God.
Take enough.
There was such regal shade in every moment. Just the way she looked
Amazing.
at her was like, she looked at her in a way that hurt my feelings.
Yeah. It's so good. Wait, have you seen the scripted version though?
I think
It's
we
both.
did.
Yeah.
All we do really is watch like documentaries about cults and
Us
murderers,
too. How are we the
and
same people?
just the complete and total flotsam and jetsam of the gene pool, and occasionally just like horrific reality television that we give ourselves the freedom to be our worst selves during. Like,
Yes.
I am so scathingly judgmental and so, like, we keep the remote between us and do these like performative pauses when one of us has an observation to make about somebody, and it's a way that I have dedicated my life to not behaving, like I
Right.
I don't to do that, but this is the
But you do
one
it.
area where I'm like, nah, man, it's all for the next hour, it's all good. And
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
By the way, I'm with you 100,000,000%. I probably did that in the wrong numerical order, but I am with you because we're the exact same. So have you done Lori Vallow, Doomsday Mom,
yeah,
interview with Keith Morrison? Right. Yeah.
yeah. Keith
Unreal.
Morrison, by the way, is maybe my spirit animal. Like I will constantly say, in situations in my life, I feel like I'm in the first block of a Keith Morrison segment, and I'm just waiting for the VO of like, but John didn't come home. He
Yes.
never arrived for that meeting. And you,
Did he? Yes, I
yeah,
love it. Oh,
yeah,
I can't get enough of that guy. He was on my old show, and he gave me this magnet of himself, and I unreal, right? And
yeah.
it's been on my refrigerator since. I'll never wash that refrigerator again because the Keith Morrison magnet's on. He's such an amazing character, right? Like what a unique fella. And what an amazing writing style. And he has stayed employed on television, which doesn't necessarily favor unique people all the time. And he has just carved out his own niche. I was thinking if I asked ChatGPT to write like a Keith Morrison style script, it must know what that is,
I
right?
mean, it doesn't hurt that his voice is like three fingers of liquid sex poured into a velvet tumbler and garnished with gravitas. Like it's
Right.
like that guy could announce that the walk signal had changed in a crosswalk, and I'd be like, say more words.
Yes, right. Tell me more. Do you think he could do our GPS, like your Waze? Like, do you think he would do one of those voices?
I mean, they would have to back a truck up. Like for him, I would imagine
I
that's,
know.
you know what I mean? Like they'd have to
Probably.
dump money on his front lawn.
Probably. And I wonder if
It's
he
like saying,
feels
would Morgan Freeman do it? It's like, well, come on.
right.
I mean,
Right.
I would
To
have
schmucks like
him
us, it's like a
narrate my
big
life.
deal. Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, have they ever asked you to do one?
Alf, nobody cares about me.
I care about you, John Henson. In fact, I'm going
Well,
to tell you
you
how
know
much I
what?
care about you.
Okay, please.
Ready? Okay. Well, hold on. Let me back into it. So, I need to introduce it like a real show host would. So, hey everybody, thanks for coming watching Soberness. I'm your host, Kat Greenleaf. I'm Kat Greenleaf, and I am joined now by John Henson. He is a comedian, he's an actor, a beloved TV host of shows including Wipeout on ABC, Halloween Baking Championship on Food Network, where he met his unicorn of a girlfriend wife, and the show Talk Soup on the E Network. And that is a good segue into an apology I owe you, John Henson. And I'm going to tell you how important you are to me. I was also a latchkey 20-something-year-old watching Talk Soup, and it was very inspiring to me. And I ended up going into TV because I so appreciated what you did. And now I have to apologize because the show I created was called Talk Stoop. And it was
Oh, believe
absolutely,
me, I know.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry,
Why? Why
man.
are you sorry? First of
Because
all,
I
I
ripped
didn't
off.
create the show or the
Okay.
name. Second of all, I mean, if we went down a list of the shows that ripped off Talk Soup far more than your interview show, it
Yeah.
would be a very long list.
A long list, right? And I will say we had nothing. We didn't talk about reality clips. You really owned that market, right? Mine is a very different thing. I just sat on some steps. But if I could had $1 for every guest who said, "I thought this was Talk Soup," like I'd be Keith Morrison rich because
Right.
many famous people came on my show thinking it was your show.
Well, Talk Soup was, first of all, Talk Soup was a hit show that I was a fan of before I came to it. But
Kinnear, right? Was Kinnear Greg
yeah,
Kinnear was on it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I just feel like I got lucky in that I was sitting in that chair when that show had sort of a moment, in
All
the
right, with the
evolution
false
of
humility.
cable.
You weren't just sitting in the
No, I mean
chair when
it's
it had
not.
a
But
moment.
I got to drive the bus when that show really, and like it was just it was a moment in time, and it was when I say a moment in time, like it was a confluence of things. It was a very young network that had absolutely no ability to govern us or watch over us.
The
Like
best.
it was completely the lunatics running the asylum. It was the
Yeah.
heyday of the talk shows. There was really, it was, as somebody said to me once, Toxic was YouTube before YouTube,
Yeah.
and it was just sort of, I got to be part of that run where it was like a bit of the, in a very myopic way, the tip of the spear of a particular genre of cable comedy.
Yes. Do you miss it?
I mean, I certainly treasure the memories. I mean, I don't, you know, it was just like a golden era that can never be duplicated, and so I certainly hold it dear. I romanticize it. I think of it, and I'm still close to all those guys, like the crew guys and stuff, and
Senior Sock?
yeah,
Are you so close to Senior Sock?
yeah, of course.
Good. Okay. How's he
Jeff
doing?
Zimmer, yeah, lives right in my neighborhood. He's great.
Okay. Good.
He's great.
Excellent. Excellent.
No,
All right, but
it was nuts. That show was out of control.
what a great thing that you were able to be part of that. By the way, I feel the same about Talk Stoop. It was a golden era, before so many things took off and happened, and it's hard. You can't really replicate that kind of vibe. You were just lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time.
I'll be honest with you. After I left Talk Soup, I tried to recreate it in ways, try to bring threads of it into, using a lot of the same crew guys, the same, some of the same creative people, the same vibe, and it was Kaiser Sose. It was gone, and it was like the biggest thing for me was moving on from that show and realizing that not all TV was like that. Like when I started getting notes from executives that had no sort of comedic sensibilities that were wanted to kind of control what we got to do and not do, I was like, why? This is like hiring a pilot and then taking a guy from row 42 opposite the toilet and going, you tell him how to run the plane. You tell him what to do. Try this lever. And you're like, but that's not the lever. It's like, yeah, but I'm in charge, so you try it. It's like, why? What are you people
What are
doing?
you doing? Creative by committee. Being creative by committee is so challenging. It's nearly impossible, especially like if you're a funny person and then the other people aren't so funny. It's soul crushing.
I will share very briefly. When I left Talk Soup, I went to ABC to make a pilot for. It was basically going to be Talk Soup on a global level, like clips from all around the world, and it was the licensing rights were too much. It was not financially viable. But I was so taken aback by the notes process that I included in the open of the show. Like it was a bit of a montage about how we made the show. And one of the scenes was I go, we've been through a lot, like notes from the network, and we just sort of wavy dissolve to this very long conference table and this high seat back, and the guy spins around and he goes, what if your sidekick was a monkey?
No.
And I go, I don't have a sidekick. And he goes, that's my point. And then as I'm walking and talking, I come out onto the stage. The audience is there. They're applauding. And I go, but we did it. We didn't compromise. And we held true to our vision and made the show we wanted to make. And as I'm walking and talking, I land right next to a director's chair with a monkey
With
in
a
a
monkey.
tuxedo that I never reference. And I just pick him up and put him on my hip. And I go, so join us, won't you? And like, that's it. That's the only time you see the monkey. And God, I love that bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it cuts close, because that is kind of how it is in
Yeah.
the madcap world of other people telling you what to do in TV. It's
Oh,
challenging.
I will, apropos of this podcast, I
Yes.
once had to make an amends
To the
to
monkey?
a producer that I once yelled at in front of the staff and crew. Um, I was so frustrated over him being squeamish about a punchline that I was just so in love with it. And I thought it was like, yeah, you can sort of wink and let this one go. And he wouldn't do it. And I meant to raise my voice out of like, make it out of humor. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
come on. Like that kind of
Yeah.
thing
Come on,
where we
already.
all laugh. But I was so frustrated that I like spaded too high and it just came out as angry. And what I said was, "Oh, stop being such a fucking pussy." And
Oh.
it was like a clothesline tackle in a game of two-hand
Yeah.
touch. Like it was the play that ends the barbecue, you know, where everybody goes,
Right.
"Jesus, dude, we're just playing
Right.
around." And it haunted me for so long that I had to reach out to him and go, yeah, so I don't know if you remember this, but I do, and I break out in hives every time I think about it. So I just wanted to let you know I don't do that kind of thing anymore, and I'm really
So sorry.
sorry. And can I make that right?
I'm glad we're doing this because I once threw a plastic fork at a booker. I just meant to convey that I had many metal forks of different types of metal, and I felt that they should be put out. And I was so angry that people were cheapening my offerings when I had spent a lot of
Yeah,
time. And
sure.
anyway, that didn't end well for me.
You tossed a spork.
I precisely, it was a freaking spork, and I did it like this, like I wanted it to be down, but it ended up being like out, you know. And she was like, "Whoa!" And then it's like, "Oh, Cat Greenleaf throws forks,"
Did it
which
hit
I
her?
did. I don't think so. And it was just a
But
spork. It was so
right,
the
but
point is,
did it like
I
flick potato salad on her skirt kind of
it
thing? Was
didn't.
there some
Yes.
blowback? Was she
Yeah,
okay?
and it never sort of ended. Although I didn't offer her amends because I was listen. It sounds to me like you and I share a passion for perfection in the shows, right? And when other people get involved with their sporks and stuff, we're not having it.
Look, there's the amends that you're willing to make. There's the amends that you're willing to make one day, and then there's the amends that you're never willing to make. And right now, she's in that category.
Yeah, and I don't even remember her name. So out she goes. But
Yep.
yes, the thing about the amends, I used to think you had to make the amends. And by the way, I love the amends. I think amends was the best part of the whole getting sober, right? Because I was able to like clear the decks on so many things. But man, there are a couple people I'm just like too ashamed. I'm just like too ashamed. It's going to go to the grave with me because I was that horrible. In fact, I think here's what's funny. I've been sober from alcohol for 11 years. Just this week, I did something that I'm so like not proud of. I'm not making an amends. I'm not doing it. I'm just going to like forget about it. I'm just going to like let it go.
Just
How many
push
amends do I
it
have to
down.
make?
Push it
Honestly.
down.
Listen, we
You know
alcoholic.
what excuse me, I was just going to say one of the big revelations for me in this process was that when you make amends, it is for the purpose of taking responsibility and making amends to the other person. And in a perfect world, although it is not necessary nor is it
Right. Not a
guaranteed,
perfect world.
you are sometimes forgiven, but or let off the hook, or fences are mended. But one of the revelations for me was that the amends process can be a opportunity to forgive yourself.
That's what it is. Well, I
Give
forgive
yourself
myself.
some grace. Yeah,
I do.
there you
I'm
go.
not. I'm not. I'm not saying sorry. I am.
Let's cut out the middleman. I'm already good with myself.
I'm
Moving
good
on.
with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I do want to say this, that I think alcoholics have it like doubly hard. A, we're alcoholics, so we have to like deal with all that, and then B, we have to deal with like getting sober, and then C, which is a nightmare, and then C, we have to like be greater than everybody and say sorry all over the place and never mess things up. And by the way, while I'm at it, I can't stand the term dry drunk. So alcoholics, it's not enough to just stop drinking, right? You then also have to engage in this deep level of self-reflection and fixing it. Otherwise, you're not doing the work and you're called a dry drunk. How about I screwed stuff up when I was drunk, and now I don't do that anymore. Why can't that be enough? Everyone else who's sitting in this room, they haven't to do shit. They just be people and do stupid things all the time. No one's calling
I
them a dry people.
literally just this morning was expressing, not in these words, but frustration with the idea that, like, you sort of adopt a code of behavior, right? And personal responsibility that includes, you know, some integrity, some honor, some honesty, and the ability to take responsibility when you're wrong and make a fulsome amends. And not everyone does. And a
Dude,
lot of
most people
times
don't.
you are giving this red carpet treatment to somebody who's Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football ripping it away all the time. And like, yeah, you operate by those rules. I'm not gonna. I'm still, you're still bringing a knife to a gunfight,
Yes,
and
yes,
it's
precisely.
maddening.
Yeah, it is maddening. It is. I really, it bums me out. But listen, whatever. As much as that bums me out, none of it bums me out as much as I bum myself out when I was an active drinker and a pretty bad guy while I was doing it. So I'm pretty glad to not be doing it anymore.
Yeah.
How long have you been
It's
off the sauce?
8.5 years.
Oh, Mazel Tov. How's it going?
I mean, well, this is the very eye-rolly thing to say, and I'm really genuinely sorry that it's going to come across as like you or God knows how many people that hear this might go, really? Um,
Beyond your wildest dreams?
I don't think I've ever been happier or more at peace. And I want to preface, well, not preface that because I'm saying it afterwards. I want to tack on to that. It
Post
is
it.
not because of like because I'm crushing it in life and everything's going my way. Like that's the thing that's significant to me. The circumstances haven't changed. I've still got all the same triggers and problems that you used to have stress with relationships and finance and career and kids and people you can't control and things you can't control. It is not because the universe has rolled over and let me rub its belly. It's just I've kind of right now, I'm like in the pocket. And when things go wrong, they go wrong, but I have a little bit more equilibrium. I don't get like blown away by them. I try not to begin sentences with the words, you know what your fucking problem is? You know what I mean? Like I just try not to make it worse. And I just feel, I don't know, like I'm really conscious of being grateful and happy. I think that's sort of like a choice. I think it's like if you work at it, you can kind of make that your center when you return to when the pendulum swings back to center. And so right now, shit's really good, and it's not something that I can point to and go because I got a big shiny black floor game show on network at 8 p.m. I just I'm in a good spot.
I am really happy to hear it. And by the way,
Thank
I
you.
feel I'm in the same spot. I think yes, the choice thing is real, really real. But also, we've developed some muscles in our sobriety to fortify our sobriety. I mean, if sobriety wasn't going well for us, we wouldn't have stuck with it, right? So obviously, the things that started growing out of our sobriety worked for us, and I think maybe subconsciously we really fight to keep it going in that direction because it is just a better life.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
it's a better
reason we
life.
drank, I just want to feel good. All I want to do is be comfortable in my own skin and feel good. So if you give me something that makes me feel good, if it's possible to use it too much, I will find that place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these, the way we live isn't um it isn't as overpowering and immediate as a drink or a drug, but it does help. And it never, I mean, I always say this, like, it never backfires. Like you never wake up in the morning
Right.
ashamed and go, "Oh God,
So
did I
sober.
was I of service last night? Oh, not again. I
Yeah.
promised myself I wouldn't. Before I went to the party, I was like, I am not going to be of service tonight. Like,
Right.
there's just no
That's
remorse in
not it.
it, you know?
Right. No, I hear you.
So
Do you think though some of it's also age? I mean, we're older now. We've survived
I'm
this
way
long.
older. I'm way older than you, I promise you.
Today's my birthday.
It is?
Yeah.
Belly
And I
button
bet you're not
birthday?
way older than me. I'm 53.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
well, I am older than you. I'll
But
be
are you
58
54?
in July. I'll
Oh,
be 58 in July.
yeah,
Um, but
once you're over 50,
happy
it's like all the
birthday.
same. Thank you very much. But listen, I'm not kidding. I never thought I'd be granted the blessing of birthdays. I was pretty sure I'd die pretty young because I was living pretty hard, you know? And so truly to have a birthday is an amazing thing for me. So I am grateful. You know, the thing you were saying about eye rolly, like, man, I walk around my life. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the life I have. Now, I am not, however, one of those people who say, "Hi, I'm Kat, and I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic." I haven't totally been grateful for my alcoholism. Are you?
Um, I, I don't, I guess I don't see it as like something to regret or be grateful for. I just see it as part of the whole. Like,
Yeah,
you
it just
know,
is.
I got it by nature and nurture. There was, when I started, it worked, and there were times when it was awesome, and then it started to not work, and then it started to become an albatross, and then it started to become a prison, and then that became the gateway to like the most sort of peace I've ever had, that feels enduring and sustainable in a way that, when I say sustainable, like I remember somebody saying to me once, happiness isn't something you can pursue directly. It's the natural byproduct of living the right way, like going with the grain in life.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I like that.
so when I say sustainable, I mean duplicable. Like shit's gonna happen, and there's gonna be periods of time where you're unhappy or things go wrong. But so like if it got me here, like all right, like
We'll take it.
um, yeah.
Do
I mean,
you?
certainly parts of it's just sucked horrifically, and I would never want to live through them. But it's like I wouldn't be here if I did wasn't there, so I can't say I wish it didn't happen.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty sane way to look at it, and I think you're absolutely right. Did you? Besides being sick and tired of being sick and tired and all the things, was there a person? Was there a moment? Was there a situation that made you go into recovery?
Um, well, I grew up with alcoholism in my home. And you know, I lived alone with my mom at the depth of her disease from like maybe 10 to like, well, she never really got sober, but 10 to 16. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from her. She got sober, but not, she stopped drinking. But 10 to 16 was like off the rails, like no lifeguard on duty,
Scary, huh?
yeah, yeah. And like, you don't, when you're in it, you're like, this is just how life is, because you don't know anything different. But I've had that. I don't know if you've had this experience. You ever go to like a new therapist and you have that one like vomit my life story session to just get the background out,
Right.
and you're talking to somebody and you just see the like mask of horror come over their face,
Yes.
and I had a therapist say to me once, like, and nobody ever put it this way, and you hear it with fresh ears. She goes, you know that like the state takes kids away for that now.
Oh
And I
God.
never thought about it like that. And
Sure.
so for me, when I had kids, I started to have that like, woof, I want to make absolutely sure my children do not grow up the way I grew up.
Yes.
Um, um,
Yes.
but at the end of the day, like, you know, you're not ready until you're ready. Like, I know tons of people who are good people and had kids and probably felt the same way, but still couldn't, took me,
Right.
I didn't stop the day my kids were born. Like, it's an inside thing, you have to get to that place where you're like, I just can't. For me, it took getting to a place of like, I will literally do anything. I will do anything you tell me to do because I cannot do this one more day.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and thank God, thank God. I mean, that's what it took. That's what I needed to get like American History X curb stomped by the disease to be like, all right.
Yeah. Same, same, same. Were you afraid when you did get sober that you would lose your funny?
Um, I mean, I guess I had that excuse at points, of like when people were like, you should stop doing this. And I'm like, dude, it's part of my process. I'm creative, you know? But no, I mean, I think at the point in which I really embraced sobriety, if I had stopped and thought that and asked that question, and someone were to say, yes, it will affect that, I would have gone, that sucks. Okay, let's go.
Really?
Like I would have been, yeah, yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, because
That's real.
I didn't, I didn't want to, I wanted to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah, you knew it, and also you had the benefit of having seen it, how bad it could get, and having felt how bad it could get.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's one thing to scare other people, but when you scare yourself, you're like,
yeah.
like I literally, the day my sobriety date is the day that I literally broke down and was like, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me do this? And I had been around the program for a while. I'd put together a couple of years and then gone out because I wasn't really doing, I was kind of cutting corners, doing the, well, I'll do
I
this,
know.
but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And that was the day where I was like, please, please help me.
Wow. I'm so glad that that happened to you. Do you think you're funnier now, actually, without it?
1,000% because when I got sober, I realized like, oh my God, it's like dropping a donut off a bat. You're like, well, this is light as a feather. Like my brain works so much faster, because it's not pushing through the fog of just, all
Yes.
the years of
Yes.
it. Like there have been times where I'm like, oh my God, this is like the Matrix with like punchlines just filtering down where you're just like, the game has slowed down. Now, that's not like a constant experience, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm a better comedian, I'm a better professional, I'm a better father, I'm a better partner, I'm a better co-host, I'm a better man. Like it's just been a rising tide.
Yeah. Oh,
Still a
I love that.
huge work in progress, like a disaster in many, many areas, but better.
But better. Yeah, that's all we can ask for, right?
Yeah.
Are there any like recovery bumper stickers, slogans, terms that you A, love, B, despise?
I fucking loathe the phrase God shot.
Oh my God, I hate God shots.
It like literally makes
Yes.
me retch. Like
Yeah.
it is. There are those, and yet I have to say there are times in my life where something has happened and I've gone, this is why they call it a gut shot. Like I get, you know what I mean? Like
But there could be a
you know,
different word. There could be a
oh,
different word.
it's just too gaggy. There's so
Yeah.
many. There's a lot of bumper stickery things that I despise. There's a lot of things that I hold very dear that are very important to me. And one that I heard recently that I absolutely treasure is um, worrying is just worshiping your problems.
Worrying is just worshiping your problems. That's very good. That is very
Yeah,
good. I like that
yeah.
one too.
I thought that
Worrying
was great.
is just worshiping your problems. Oh, you know what I like? Anger is the champagne of emotions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's true. It's
yeah.
like you just roll
Self-righteous
around.
indignation is my drug of choice right now
Yeah.
in my life, you know?
Really? How's that working for you?
I mean, it's the thing that like, there's just certain things that are irresistible, you know what I mean? There's just like it's like an
Gee,
emotional
what?
bonbon. It's like, you know, like
Yes.
I always say like cocaine is the only drug I ever tried that I was like, oh my God, this is awful. Can we get more of it?
Yeah.
And
I know. I
and
know.
and
I loved
and
cocaine.
and like that, anytime like the 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 thing that I am most vulnerable to, where I have to really watch myself, is if I feel like I have a case. If I have a case, ooh, I will burn this city to the ground. Like that
Yep.
is, that's what's hardest for me to come up off of. I've gotten a lot better at like, it. I shouldn't have done that. I need to apologize, take responsibility for it. That is an easier pill for me to swallow than to let go of a situation where I'm like, but I'm right here. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, right.
that's
Don't you
hard.
think I'm right? Because I think you're right. Yeah. Oh, I know. I know. Well, once again, we've had to give up alcohol that we loved so much. So, like, shouldn't we be able to win an argument or two just because?
I remember hearing somebody say, look, even when we're right, we're wrong. And I was like, no, fuck
No.
that and fuck you,
Yeah. What? Well, who came up with that?
I just heard it once and a guy said it and everybody was like, right, you're right. And I was like, no. I think the key is being right doesn't give me license to be a dick. And I
Yes.
don't need to hear you say I'm right for me to know I'm right, you know?
Right. Yes.
And
Correct. Yes. Affirmative.
I don't need to use being right as a cudgel, and I don't need it's a bit of a false economy that like that, I need to beat my chest
Yeah.
and and I don't need you to be wrong for me to be right. Like everybody gets no one's a villain in their own story and some people that I know and have experienced, it's like telling them that the sky isn't blue. It's like, okay, that's your reality. That's true for you. You are a wide-eyed zealot and a true believer. And the and I give myself the freedom to not have to convince you otherwise, you know?
Oh my God! It is a relief, right? It's a relief.
Yeah.
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 It's less time consuming.
Yeah. I do it's the I always say it's the blackjack dealer like, okay, new dealer
Yep.
everybody, I'm going on break. Best of luck.
Yeah.
Like, there's
It's a
there's a
freedom.
wonderful power in just walking away and going, okay, you know, I get it. You feel that way. This conversation's over.
Is over. So I'll share with you. So one of the ways that the sobriety has entered into the rest of my life is I've got a terrible temper and I feel the need to like yell all the time, and it makes me sick about myself. I hate it, and I found myself like it was with drinking. Like I don't know how to stop. And then one day I'm in my garage and I was like, moron, you, Cat Greenleaf, who loves alcohol more than anything, stopped it. And you know how you stay stopped? You don't take that first drink. So if you don't take that first yell, you're not going to keep yelling. And now, John Henson, I walk away. I don't yell. My kids are going buck
Yep.
wild. I let it be. And then I walk away.
Pause when doubtful or agitated.
I'm so into it. It has made
Yeah.
everything better. Everything. Everything. Our whole
Yeah.
family dynamic has changed. And how about this? I'm now like the wise, calm sage in the house. Are you texting while I'm talking to you? You are.
No, I'm playing with two pieces of Nicorette gum that I cannot wait to put in my mouth because
So
I
put them
get
in.
coffee and Nicorette, and you will pry them from my cold, dead hands.
Put them in. Why? You don't have to wait. Thank you. Good. I feel much
I
better
just feel
now.
like it's disrespectful because I'm talking.
No, disrespectful was not looking at me when I'm telling you this very important thing about my life.
No,
That was
I'm 100% on the edge of my seat because I get it, and do you get the thing where things that you have learned in sobriety that you have modeled for and taught your children are then in moments where you lose your shit, your children remind you of something that you taught them? Like
yeah, it's a bad
sometimes
moment.
my kid, or is it a great moment? Like I've had my like I lost my shit in an airport once because I forgot something, and I was like, God, I'm so stupid. And my kids who were, at the time, like, I don't know, 10 and 12 were like, Dad, don't talk about yourself that way. Everybody makes
Yeah.
mistakes. There's nothing you can do about
Yeah.
it right now. And I was like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I
You
felt like
saw your
Albert
good
Brooks
work.
in broadcast news. Like I say it here and it comes
And it
out
comes
there.
out
Like,
there. Yes. It's funny. It's so weird. My older son said the exact same thing to me last week. I was like, stupid. He's like, what are you, don't do that. Don't say that, Mom. You're the best. Don't talk about yourself like that. And it's how I speak to him. So it is nice when the seeds you've planted
right.
actually, grow
Well,
something beautiful.
this is like a real thing that I don't think people point out enough for people who get sober and have families. There's much made out of the fact that alcoholism is a family disease. And when you are an alcoholic, you bring that disease into your home, and everyone catches it in that they are exposed to the dynamic, and it weaves its way into their mind and their emotional life.
Yep.
But when you get sober, you bring sobriety into your home, and they catch that same attitude and dynamic, that way of comporting yourself and behaving, and they learn that the same way that they are capable of learning the unhealthy behavior of an active alcoholic.
I have legitimately never thought about this that way, and I appreciate you for pointing that out. That seems to be a really foundational truth,
Yeah.
and makes me feel great. So, thank you for that. Listen, I know you have a heart out now, so I don't want to hold you, but
I appreciate it. I'm going to pick up my kids. I'm gonna go. Get my kids from school and
because you're
bring
a
them
good dad.
home.
Okay, so
Uh, y-
let me ask you this one last thing, right? I call this my moment of soberness smugness. I'd like you to
mhm.
complete the sentence for me. I feel most morally superior about my sobriety when.
Oh, I mean, if we're being honest, like I always say, it's so easy to be spiritual when I'm sitting on a winning hand. Like when life is giving me my way, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
look, I just, I'm like, you guys, it's so easy, and I don't understand why you're making it so hard. You just got to surrender to the fact that you're crushing it right now, and you're working, and you're in shape, and you got a great partner, and everybody, like, it's the money to be made in sobriety is holding on to it when you're getting your ass handed to you. And
Yes.
when people, myself included, I mean primarily myself, but you see it in meetings when people are like, when everything's going your way, it's real easy to be fucking Gandhi.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. That's a good one. I am with you on that. Thank you, John Henson, and good night and big balls, brother.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it, and we'll do it again sometime. And congrats on not yelling with your
Thank
children.
you.
That's enormous. Um,
Congrats on your chicken egg Easter egg laying chicken. I find it
so many
remarkable.
eggs, so many
Yeah.
eggs. And I really enjoyed this. Thank you very much.
Me too. Thank you so much. I'm glad we did it. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
Bye. Hey, thanks for checking out the show. Once again, this is Soberness. Please don't hesitate to follow us, to like us, and subscribe. Definitely subscribe. It'll help us out a lot. And drop us a line. Let us know how we're doing, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, and tell us your own sober story. Thank you so much. Again, this is Soberness.